We will now continue with importing data from Cognos into Excel. I will now import data from this report. I can double click on it, I can right click and then I can select import content, or I can click on this link below import content. No matter what I do, I will open this dialog. And we will now look at these options here. First option is run the report. This means that if I now click on finish, we will have to wait for Cognos to create our report. And that can last a long time. For example, it can last 20 minutes. Instead of that, it is much wiser to use data from output version. Now this is grayed out. We don't have any output versions. So I will close this dialog and then I will go to Cognos. And this is our report. I will now click here on Action menu and then I will click on View Versions. And we can see that we already have here one output version. But this output version is a common one. We need an enhanced output version. Now, how to get that enhanced output version? Well, for that, we have to go here to Action menu, then to Properties, then to Report, then to More Options. First, I will increase number of saved output versions to 4, and then I will enable this option here. This option will help us to get enhanced output versions. So I will enable this, I will save this, and I will close it. Now we have to create new output version. So I will go to Action menu, I will click on Run As, I will select this Excel file format, I will turn on Run in background, and I will click on Run. And now a new output version will be created. We will again go to Action menu and then to View Versions. And we now have two output versions. This one is the new one, this one is enhanced, and this one is the old one. We will now go to Excel. And again, I will open this report. I will go to Import Content. And now we can select this option, select a specific output version. And we can select our output version, but only the enhanced one. We cannot select the old one. And besides selecting specific output version, which is not really useful because each time when we click on refresh all data, data from this output version will be loaded, and that is not useful. Instead of that, it is much better to select most recent. In this way, we will always have data from the most recent output version. I will now click on Finish, and our report will be imported. I will now delete this report, and I will select cell B3. I will again import our report. I will double click on it, and now we will go here to Crosstabs. I will first check this option, Ignore Formatting. I will click on Finish, and our report will be imported without any formatting, just the data. I will again delete this report. I will select B3, and before next step, I will change the width of these columns. I will make them much more narrow, and then I will again import my report. I will go to Crosstabs, and I will select this option, Automatically Resize Columns. By default, Cognos for Office will not change the width of columns in Excel, but if we select this option, they will change so that they fit content of our columns. So I will click on Finish, and now all sizes and widths of columns are changed to fit our data. I will again delete this report. I will select B3. I will then import our report again. I will go to Crosstabs, and now we will use these options below. Now these options do exist both for rows and for columns. And I will start with this option, Hide Labels, but I will turn it on only for rows. So for rows, we will hide labels. I will click on Finish, and now our Crosstabs only has header, but it doesn't have those columns at the start. If we go here to Cognos, if we go to our report, we will see that all of this here is missing. And that is because we checked that option, hide labels for rows. I will again delete this report. I will select B3. I will import it again. I will go to Crosstab, and now I will select this option, repeat labels. I will click on finish. And now for each year we will have 4 occurrences. If we go to our report, we can see each year only once, so it is only in 1 row, but here it is in 4 rows. It's also possible to do that for columns. In that case, we would have first quarter in these 3 columns. I will now again remove my report. I will select B3. I will now again import our report. I will go to Crosstab, and now I will check this option group, but I will check this option both for rows and for columns. I will click on finish, and now our data is grouped. We can see this plus signs on the side of the screen, and when we import our report, rows will be collapsed and columns will be expanded. So that is default behavior. I will again remove my report, and I will select B3. Next, we will talk about bursting reports. Unfortunately, inside of this Cognos instance, I don't have privileges to use bursting. So instead of giving you a demonstration, I will just show you some images. I will now unhide once hidden sheet 3, and here I have some images. If we have report with bursting, we should then select import from output version, and we should select most recent output version. And then this option here will become available. We will select it like here, and then we will be able to choose one of the recipients. I will select this Mr. Altan, and then I will click on finish. After that, only data for Mr. Altan will be imported. Now this setting is such that we can subsequently change its value. For that, we will go here to our panel, and here we can choose some other recipient. For example, we will select Mr. Erdin, and then we will refresh our data. After refreshing, we will see that we only now have data for Mr. Erdin. It is also possible to select option none. This none, we can select that, and after refreshing our data, in this case we would get all of the data for all of the recipients. So this is how we use bursting reports in Cognos for Office. We will now take a look at report with visualizations. I will go here to first tab, and I will double click on this visualization report. We can notice here that we have 2 visualizations. We have chart and we have visualization 11.0. But if we go to Cognos and if we look at this report, we will notice that here we also have visualization 11.1. But this kind of visualizations cannot be imported with Cognos for Office. So they will not appear in this dialog. And if I click here on this Pi 1, we will see that we don't have any settings here. We can just select location, nothing else. So I will just click here on finish, and we will import our 2 visualizations. And if I select this visualization, we can notice that this is an image. We have this picture format tab, and it is the same for charts. We just have imported some images. It is also possible to export our report with Cognos for Office the same way when we export our report directly from Cognos. To do that, we have to select our report. We can right click on it and we can select View Report, or we can click here below on this link View Report. Before that, I will select default file format when exporting some report. So I will go to Cognos. I will go here to Action menu, then to Properties, then to Report, then to Report again, and here I will change default file format to HTML. I will save this, and then I will go again to Excel. I will right click on this report and I will select View Report. And now our report will be open in HTML file format, but we can see that this visualization 11.1 is still not available. I will close this now, and again I will go to Cognos. This time I will change default file format to Excel. I will click on Save. I will go here again to Cognos for Office. Again, I will try to export this report. I will get this dialog. Here I have to right click on this header. I have to select Download File. I will click on Retry. We will wait a little bit and then I will click on Open. And we will get the full report in Excel file format. We can see our visualization 11.1, it is an image. Here is visualization 11.0, it is also an image. And this is chart. Chart is real chart, so it is connected to some data inside of this sheet, data C2. If we go here to our sheets, we can unhide that sheet. I will unhide it. This is data that is giving numbers to this chart. Here we can type some really big number, for example, this number. And now if we go to this first sheet, we will see how our chart is changed. So chart is reacting to changes in our data.